you're in a relationship with a narcissist and you're not sure what to do about it, watch this video and I'm going to talk you through what some of your options are. As a therapist, I've helped lots of people navigate relationships with narcissists, and one of the things that I have found is that there are really only 3 options when it comes to what to do in a narcissistic relationship. Stick around and I'll walk you through these 3 options, and be sure to stick around for the last option because that's one that I think that a lot of people don't consider when they're in a narcissistic relationship. Just as a quick recap, a narcissist is a person who needs to be the center of attention. They're self-absorbed to the point that they can't recognize or empathize with other people and can't allow other people to have their own emotions or ideas. And the more narcissistic a person is, the less and less they realize that they're doing this. If you're not too sure about what narcissism is, or if you're in a narcissistic relationship, check out some of our past videos and it can help you decide if maybe this is something that you're struggling with. If you have a narcissistic person in your life, like a friend, a family member, a spouse, or a significant other, it can be really hard to figure out what to do. So let's talk about what your first option is. Option number 1 is an option that I feel like people choose a lot, and in all honesty, I think this is your worst option. Option number 1 is to stick around with the narcissist and hope that they're going to change, or that you're eventually going to get the hang of the whole thing and figure out how to make them happy with you. Like, they set the bar right here and you're going to figure out how to reach it. You're going to be good enough for them. You're going to give them enough of what they're looking for so that they stop gaslighting you, so that this whole entire thing stops. But this actually is a really, really terrible idea. If the person is highly narcissistic, they probably don't even have insight into the fact that they're doing this, and you're holding on hope that things are going to change, and they're not. You're actually giving all of your control to the narcissist, and you're losing who you are in the process. A lot of people choose this option because it's the status quo, like this is what you know and this is what you've always done, maybe even since you were a child. But this option really does give up all of your power and all of your opportunity for future things to get better. Now let's move on to your second option before we get to the third and final option that most people don't really consider. So the second option is something that a lot of people tell me their friends and family are telling them to do. The second option is to cut off all contact, go no contact with the narcissist in your life. Now, sometimes this is the option that makes the most sense, but not always. Friends and family, when they give us the advice of going no contact with a narcissist, they may be well-meaning, but they may not fully understand your situation either. Sometimes we assume that if we break up with somebody or get divorced or quit a job or go no contact with a parent, it will solve all of our problems. But that's not always the case. In fact, when we go no contact with a narcissist, we're trading one set of consequences for another. Narcissists may or may not be able to respect some of those boundaries, and for some people, their lives may be even worse if they find a way to go no contact because of some of the outcomes that will come because of that. And those outcomes aren't always inflicted by the narcissist. It just has to do with the circumstances of your life. If you think that no contact may be the best way to go for you, I think it's a good idea to try to do a trial period of that if possible. Again, this is something that makes more sense if the narcissist is somebody like a parent or maybe even a coworker. Spend some time having that no contact order be in place. So you don't talk to them maybe for 3 weeks at a time, and you stop and you check in with how did that feel? Was this the best thing for you? Was it not? And you make a decision based on information, not based on a reaction. Now, on the other hand, there are times where the narcissist in your life might be very dangerous to you, both mentally and maybe even physically as well. And in those cases, you may have to go no contact without a trial period. But where it's possible, I think it's a good idea to explore your options a little bit and not feel pressured into making a decision because of what someone else tells you. In fact, that's what happens when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, is you stop trusting yourself and you learn to trust what everyone else is telling you to do instead of listening to what it is that you need. All right, so here it is. We've made it to your third option. The third option is a little bit of somewhere in the middle of the things that we've talked about before. It isn't accepting things the way that they are right now and hoping that they're going to change because the narcissist is going to get better. Instead, it's accepting things as they are right now in reality and not constantly trying to have this illusion that things are going to get better. This is real reality acceptance. This step can be so hard. This is a tough option for people, and so sometimes I think they're hesitant to consider it, but I think it's something that's really doable in a lot of situations, especially if the person is maybe a little less narcissistic, maybe not quite to like that narcissistic personality disorder realm of this illness. So if you're going to take this road of reality acceptance, it means that you're going to have to back up and make some space for yourself. You have to have the space to be able to have your own emotions, feel your own emotions, and even express your own emotions, even if that's not to the narcissist directly. Making space for yourself can help you regain your sense of identity. You will stop needing validation from people around you all the time because you will learn how to validate yourself. One of the really hard things about this option is the reality acceptance piece. Accepting that the narcissist in your life is not going to change, or if they are going to change, it's going to be of their own accord, not because of anything you do, is something that is really, really challenging for people. But it can be done. You may have to accept that there will be times in your life where the other person is too emotionally immature to be able to be there for you in the way that you need, but that doesn't mean that you can't still have a happy life. Setting limits and boundaries, allowing yourself to take up space, and increasing your support system is really important in recovery and finding a way to have mental health stability through some of these challenges. I wish this option was all rainbows and unicorns, but unfortunately, sometimes this comes with some consequences because the narcissists in our lives don't like it when we have this individuation, right? This thing where we become separate from them and we recognize that they're not the authority on all things. That can be really hard, and it's important to gear up for some of the consequences that are likely to happen because of that. If this is an option that you want, I would really recommend getting into a therapist because it's going to take you some work to figure out exactly what reality is and how to accept it. But this option is one that you should consider if you are going to stay in a relationship with a narcissist. Hopefully it's been helpful today to listen to some of your options if you are in a narcissistic relationship. Check out our other videos for more content like this.